Hello, everyone. Jim Biringer here, NHLRumors.com. Please subscribe to the channel, smash that notify button, hit the bell, give us a thumbs up, like this video. We're talking about the Toronto Maple Leafs, everybody's favorite team to talk about this week after what happened Game 7 Sunday night against the Florida Panthers. Check out the video we did on Brad Marchand, as he loves Game 7s and especially against the Toronto Maple Leafs, but we're not here to talk about him. We're talking about the team as a whole. Changes needed to happen years ago with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Been 11 years of the Shanahan plan, and now it's officially over. Brendan Shanahan will not have his contract renewed. When is it? It is up June 30th of this year. MLSE met, the governors met. They decided it was time to move on from Brendan Shanahan as the president of hockey operations. No surprise considering what happened. Only 2 playoff series wins since he's taken over. Now, Shanahan's done a lot of great work for the Toronto Maple Leafs, got him to be a consistent playoff team. There were some dark times after 2004 for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Obviously, 2013, the 18-wheeler that came off, he hires Lou Lamoriello, right? But he keeps Kyle Dubas around. They tried to do it a different way, tried to do this fancy hockey, this artistic hockey, but you still got to grind it out, still got to work hard, kept the core 4 together, kept running it back year after year after year after all those playoff failures. And now it cost him his job. And no surprise, really, because the New York Islanders are looking for a president of hockey operations. They asked permission from the Maple Leafs a couple of days ago whether or not it was okay to talk to Shanahan. The Leafs said okay, and you knew the writing was on the wall. So Brendan Shanahan most likely will go to New York Islanders. You are New York Islanders bound, Long Island bound, to be the new president of hockey operations. As Dave Pagnotta has been reporting, looks like it's going to be Mark Bergevin, Matthew Darche, could be somebody else, but they are finalizing that up. Could be as early as tomorrow, could be as early as next week. Obviously, it's a holiday weekend in the United States this week with Memorial Day, so maybe some things don't get done this weekend. But back to the Leafs. Again, Shanahan did some good things. The problem is he kept running it back, right? Can't keep running it back, and expect the same results. 7 years, almost 7 in game-deciding series, and the team just didn't show up. You bring in Brad Treliving, and he will be sticking around as the general manager. It makes sense. He just got there, so why would they change things around? But the handling of certain contracts, allowing the players to get the money that they demanded, and not being able to put a team around them. You have individuals on this team. You don't have a team. Considering how Brendan Shanahan played as a player, winning in Detroit, how he played in New Jersey, surprised he didn't get those types of players in there more. Try to break this thing up back after. You could say it should have started 2019, 2020. The latest it should have been was 2021. And obviously, it didn't happen. And now Brendan Shanahan's out. Everybody reported it was a little odd that if he was going to stick around, they were going to keep him and allow him to go meet with the Islanders. But he's gone. And the Toronto Maple Leafs, as we've documented here on NHL Rumors, have free agents as well. Restricted free agent Matthew Knies. You have 2 unrestricted free agents in Mitch Marner and John Tavares. The belief is Mitch Marner's going to free agency July 1st, going to test the waters. He may not be coming back. And the Toronto Maple Leafs, look, they can't run it back. They can't bring them all back. Matthew Knies needs to be the priority first, get him locked up because somebody could offer sheet him and put the Maple Leafs in a tough position, whether they match it or not. They need to get him signed. And then they have to decide, where can they find a second-line center if they do not want to bring John Tavares back? And Mitch Marner, look, the way he's talked in these exit meetings, it sounds a lot of it's past tense. It's a negotiating ploy, obviously, so he can get what he wants. But I think Brad Treliving knows he just can't have the same guys running it back again and expect a different result. It's just not there. These guys, this collective group of the Fab Five or the Core Four, cannot stay together anymore. They just don't have it when the big moment hits, when the spotlight hits, when that winning moment is necessary. They don't have that cleaner mentality. And everything has to be on the table, as TSN Director of Scouting and Hockey Analyst said, Craig Button. I don't think Austin Matthews trade is going to happen because he has, no move protection and he just signed. Same with Nylander. But tough decisions have to be made. Toronto Maple Leafs have to be like the Vegas Golden Knights. Sorry, guys. We just can't bring it back. It's not in the cards. And for Tavares, I think, he said a couple years ago or a year ago, if they don't want me back, I might retire. Well, that has to be an option for John Tavares if Toronto Maple Leafs don't want to bring him back. Mitch Marner, where does he go if they don't bring him back? Which most likely they won't, because I just don't see it. It just doesn't make any sense to keep running it back and expect the same results with this group. The defense is in place. Get steady goaltending. You got to change the top six. There has to be a mix somewhere. So Marner could go to Utah. Odds makers say Philadelphia. He's up there. 31 other teams are going to look for his services. Somebody's going to pay him big bucks. Could he go to Buffalo if he wants to stick around in the Toronto area? New York, could he? If Shanahan goes to the Islanders, does Marner follow him to the Islanders? Kind of makes sense, right? And maybe Tavares goes back with him too, right? Like, because those two guys, locked hip and hip, and with the young nucleus that they're building there, Marner's going to have options. Vegas needs a winger, but they got to shred some cap space to do it. Again, while the cap is going up, how much do teams really want to spend? Unless Vegas does the old, well, we'll take Carey Price's contract from Montreal. That frees up LTIR space so we can sign Mitch Marner. Again, the NHL is working on a new CBA. They may close that loophole, but you never know, right? Again, it's a negotiation. But the Toronto Maple Leafs, end of an era, core four, fab five, whatever you want to call it, is over. It's done. Change is happening, starting with the president of hockey operations. Now the free agents, now the players. It had to come to an end. You could not run it back any longer. You got the most miles out of this group, and they showed in the end they can't get it done in the big moment. So you say, all right, we close the chapter. As MLSC, Keith Pelly said, the president CEO said, it's a new chapter in the Maple Leafs history. They got to get back trying to win a championship. Haven't done it since 1967. They have a lot of decisions to make in this offseason. It's going to be interesting to see where Mitch Marner goes, John Tavares, what contract Matthew Knies has. Big story is Brendan Shanahan not back. Same old story in Game 7 for the Leafs, but change is finally happening. Jim Biringer here, NHLRumors.com. Again, smash the notify button, hit that bell, give us a thumbs up, like the video. We'll be back again real soon. Take care. Enjoy the Stanley Cup playoffs.